Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see here, we're at the kind of free agency period after the 21-22 season, and we did not win the Stanley Cup, as you can see. So I'm gonna do the 21-22 season recap, kind of quick, just hit on how the regular season went, kind of how Perunovich did, and then kind of our draft and free agency and all that good stuff. So in terms of the regular season, see here we finished with a 50, 23, and 9 record, which is basic. So we ended up with the same exact point total as the Blues had that season. We just like traded 2 overtime losses for a win. So we finished with 109 points, which was good enough for second overall in the league. But the team that was first, when won the President's Trophy, was the Avalanche with 111 points. So we finished second in our division, despite having the second best points tally in the entire NHL. In terms of leading scorer, as you can see here, it was Ryan O'Reilly. He had 28 goals, 45 assists for 73 points. In terms of goals for and goals against per game, we were 4th for goals for per game with 3.32, and 8th for goals against per game with 2.70. In terms of how Perunovich did, let's see if he's in here. No. How many? He finished with what? 50? Yeah, alright, so he's not going to be in here. Alright, so I gotta go to the contracts. Which might spoil some free agency stuff, but that's neither here nor there really at this point. Defenseman. Boom, here he is. Alright. So in the AHL he was in the AHL season, so he was like low overall, didn't really fit. So I was going to develop for a year, so he played every game, had 11 goals, 46 assists for 57 points in the AHL, which was pretty good. Then in the playoffs, let's say now he had 1 goal in the AHL playoffs. The team lost pretty early. So in terms of the actual playoffs, let's kind of pull up the playoff tree here. Kind of show you how he did. So rounds 1-2, it was kind of, again, it was like, because that's those rounds they made IRL, I kind of tried to mimic the results from that. So round 1, we got matched up against the Winnipeg Jets, and in that series, the Blues won games 1, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the ones I played. I simulated games 2 and 3. So game 1, we won 6-3. Game 2, Winnipeg won by the same score. Then we won the next 3 games 5-1, 4-1, and 8-3 to win the series 4-1. We then got matched up against the Oilers in round 2, where the Blues stumbled in real life against the eventual Cup champs Avalanche. And they won games 2 and 5 IRL, so I played games 2 and simulated the others. So game 1 we won 5-2, game 2 we won 3-1, game 3 we won 4-3, and game 4 we won 4-1 to sweep the Oilers, move on to the conference finals, where we got matched up against the Calgary Flames. I guess this wasn't where the Blues got, they got knocked out in round 2. I simulated all these games. So game 1, Calgary won 2-1, and then won games 2 and 3 by 6-5 and 3-2. Calgary tied the series up again by winning game 4, 4-3. We then took a 3-2 series lead by winning game 5, 3-2, but couldn't close out the series as Calgary won game 6, 3-2, and the decisive game 7, 4-3. And then, as you see, went on to sweep the Carolina Hurricanes in the Cup final. So we had a pretty decent season, making it to game 7 in the Western Conference Finals before finally stumbling against the team that ended up winning the Cup pretty dominantly over the Hurricanes in the Cup final, so it's pretty good. Now I'll kind of back out to the home screen, so that's going to be the easiest way to show that Ryan O'Reilly was our leading scorer in the playoffs with 1 goal, 16 assists for 17 points. And then kind of in terms of the awards and whatnot, so Sidney Crosby was the leading scorer with 101 points, so he scooped up the Art Ross and the Hart. Victor Hedman for Tampa Bay won the Norris. Lady Byng went to Braden Point, who finished with 93 points in the regular season. Calder went to Trevor Zegras of Anaheim. Conn Smythe went to Matthew Tkachuk of Calgary. The Vezina and the Jennings both went to Connor Hellebuck of the Winnipeg Jets. The Masterson went to Joel Edmondson of the Canadiens. Jack Adams went to Ottawa, so they finished with 99 points in the regular season, which was only good enough for Wild Card 1 in the East, because the Atlantic Division only had 3 teams finish 99 points. The Bruins, the Maple Leafs, and the Senators. And I guess the Senators are at the bottom in terms of the tiebreakers, so they finished in the wild card spot. Still a pretty solid season from them. Selke Trophy went to Patrice Bergeron, unsurprisingly. The Lindsay went to Sidney Crosby, and then the Rocket Richard went to Alex Ovechkin, who finished with 100 points in the regular season. So the next things were then the draft, where we had 6 picks, and I got 3 centers, just because that was kind of ended up being who best player available was. A 1 left defenseman and 2 goalies. All of them were pretty decent picks, except for the second goalie was like a bit of a bust pick, but it was kind of just our last pick, and I was like, just pick kind of anyone, and that's who I ended up picking. He's going to be a bust. That's who I hit it there. And then the free agency period. So if you remember from the introductory video, we had a coach, and this coach here is not the same coach. We fired. I ended up, I guess not really firing. I guess ended up not re-signing our original coach, and then I had also then signed our original kind of assistant coach, I think it was, to be the head coach potentially, because it wouldn't let me see his scheme or whatever unless I signed him to a contract and made him the head coach by moving him around. But he didn't really fit what we were looking for either, so he got the boot. And after a long and protracted negotiation process, we ended up winning over this guy here, Caden Bork. This here is an A coach with pretty much A's and A pluses for everything. And the reason why is because we go to his, I think he was the Hurricanes coach last season, potentially. But 61% kind of scheme fit there, not bad. But as you can see here, his third pair kind of scheme is hold line and balanced. And that is what Scott Perunovich prefers. So he's going to be he's a perfect fit for our third pairing defenseman. So that's where he's going to be for basically the rest of the series. And then his lines are also a lot of balance and stuff, so it's kind of a good one to build a roster around. So at that mile, kind of get into free agency moves, which after we kind of locked this head coach down, ended up being 2 trades on the blue line. Because Torrey Krug and Justin Falk kind of didn't fit the scheme for where they kind of were going to be, which would be first pair left defenseman, second pair right defenseman. So I went out and traded them in kind of hockey trades to get people kind of who potentially might fit the scheme better. And if not, again, I can kind of just move them on. But the first one, Torrey Krug, ended up trading to not the Vegas Golden Knights, gotta fix my spreadsheet, to the Carolina Hurricanes for Jacob Slavin and a 2023 third round pick. Because Jacob Slavin's got a bajillion X factors, so he even if his actual preferences don't really fit, he should kind of make a positive chemistry on the first line with Colton Parayko, who has a perfect scheme fit for the first defensive pairing, so the two of them should work together nicely. Then the second pairing kind of had Nicoletti, I assigned to a new contract, kind of hoping he might fit with our new coach because he was balanced, and so here second pair balanced. So he's going to be perfect for the second pair. And then in terms of the trade, I went and traded Justin Falk to the New York Islanders for Noah Dobson and a 2023 fourth. So I got the Dauber in. Again, he was kind of there was a lot of options for that kind of potential position, and then kind of just based on a combination of his age. He was the youngest potential option at 22. Then his overall was 84, which is the second highest. He had a couple 85s and a couple 84s. Based on that combination, the fact that he's an Islander, I kind of picked him to be kind of our trade target. Got him in a fourth for Justin Falk. So he should be kind of tried out on the second pair of Nicoletti. If he fits, he fits. Coolio. If he doesn't, he still has a little bit of term, so I can move him on either at the deadline or next off season to get someone who potentially fits better. But that's kind of it there. Then in terms of kind of other free agency moves, all I really needed was kind of third and fourth line right wingers and a 13th forward. So in terms of who I kind of got for those, go back to the contract screen here. Go to centers first here. Oh, he disappeared. Guess he went to in the system here. Yeah, Riley Sheahan. Gonna be our 13th forward here. Signed him to a 1-year, $1.3 million contract to be our 13th forward. And then in terms of the right wingers, this is in the system still, go back up. Went and got Vinny Hinestroza, who is not our first choice. First choice is Frank Vetrano, but he, I think, ended up signing with the Kings or something like that. He's going to be kind of on a trial period here for their third-line right winger on a one-year $2.025 million contract. And then Nola Chari, going to try it out on the fourth-line right wing on a one-year $1.725 million contract. So that was kind of it in terms of free agency moves. Didn't really need to do that much because we had most of our roster kind of locked up. So it's just the big kind of two trades to kind of freshen up the defense with people who might have a chance of fitting our scheme rather than kind of sticking with two people who I know don't fit. And kind of refreshing the bottom six a little bit on the forward side. Kind of goaltending, ended up signing Husso to a new contract, so him and Binnington should kind of be our tandem for a little while. They kind of did decent enough in the regular season, so I figured kind of stick with them. If anything broke, don't fix it, and all that kind of good stuff. But with that in mind, I guess kind of to wrap it up here, kind of do expectations for next season, and kind of based on the fact that we have a coach that kind of fits our players a lot better than our original coach did, and kind of the moves we've made in trades and free agency and stuff. Kind of hoping we should make the playoffs again next season. And then I don't know if we're going to be able to make it all the way to the conference finals again. But it's because we need kind of luck. It basically needs to be matched up against somehow. Yeah, basically somehow, like, in terms, like, either kind of the Wild, because they're kind of the Jersey West moment rival, because this is, you know, Winter Classic jersey, and the Blues played the Wild the Winter Classic, so they're kind of one of our rival by default for this series. And then obviously the Calgary Flames. So we somehow have to get the two of them in rounds 1 2 to guarantee to make it to the conference finals next season. Well, even then, it's not necessarily a guarantee depending upon kind of who gets home ice and stuff. But so yeah, so we basically need to be fortunate in our matchups to make it to the conference finals again and try and kind of push further than we did this season. But we should at least make the playoffs and kind of give a good fist of it. But yeah, with that in mind, I think that's kind of wrapped it up for this one. Unless there's anything else to touch on. So thank you for watching this episode. Hope you check out the next episode, which will be the 22-23 season recap as well. Thank you.